concrete existence of working in this restaurant, and I knew I would break out eventually. It became too much, so I decided that's it. I've saved all this money. I'm going back to Europe. I'm going to Paris. And so I quit my job. I packed up everything. As this was happening, finally, the book, as I always wanted it to be, started taking shape. It started with the end. It started with a verse drama, a climactic confrontation in a storm.
Are you writing it backwards, or did you just start with
It started with the ending, so I had portions of it, and I finally got to this end section I had in mind. Of energy in me as I was writing that I realized there's a whole story underneath the rest of the story. And so here I am. The pandemic has delayed my trip. It delayed me for 2 years. So I spent 2 years in my father's house, writing this book slowly, surely. It's in 5.
So you're saying that your trip to Paris got delayed?
It got delayed. So I'm in Tyler, Texas, at my father's house, writing this book. Finally, as I always want it to be. And guess what? It's not just poetry. It has that rambling cadence of Walt Whitman in the first section, this called The Sea. The main character is the diver, and he's exploring the depths. It's the depths of himself. It's the depths of the cosmos. He finds a magic pearl.
Is this published?
I have it in manuscript form. No.
So what am I going to do with the rest of my life now? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Wait till you hear how it goes. Beyond, he finds this magic pearl. Any diver of sunken treasure finds something like this. It's theirs. It calls out to them. But as he stirs this treasure, something else stirs in the deep of the ocean. It's this beast, this sea monster, this creature of darkness that he has to fight for this treasure to get it back up.
You just blow my mind, man.
So what happens? He's courageous enough to fight him underwater, but he's bitten by the beast and he goes unconscious. But he falls into an underwater current, and the current washes him ashore. Almost dead. He wakens to the next section, Earth. And Earth is written in the hard prose of my hero Ernest Hemingway, who planted the dream of going to Paris in my heart so long ago. So I finally awakened to writing prose narrative, and the gardener finds the pearl also washed up on the shore. He comes to bury it in the sand, but when he buries it, the entire island changes into a vast continent of mountains and forests and streams. So the diver becomes the gardener in this section, and he's searching the forest for seeds. And where the pearl was planted, a tree has grown. A tree that becomes like his friend, like you had Wilson in Castaway. The tree is his friend. He's finding seeds from across this land, and he's cultivating a garden, and the garden is the garden of his soul. He's doing everything he needs to do, learning humble, patient craft, the hard prose of a man at work. And what happens? He's rewarded for it. Birds come to this land, full of song. And as he walks and listens to the songs transport him as music transport us into different worlds.
For a second. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I have a revelation about something that I developed yesterday.
Go on.
So the split mind of Job in the book of Job in the Bible is his own self-sabotage. So the Satan is his ego, his subconscious that sabotages. And so he goes through these trials where he loses his home, he loses his livestock, those are stories of his own self-sabotage.
His own doubt.
Yeah, whatever it is, those are the things that he's destroyed in his pilgrim. Like, we have to die, we have to destroy, we have to build, we have to reconstruct, we have to be resurrected as the phoenix. So just what you're talking about, man, I'm just
just wait for this, okay? So he travels through these, he has these visions that he inhabits through the bird. It's like the bird song makes a passage to a different time and place. So I'm writing these short vignettes where I'm trying to tell the biggest story in the smallest amount of pages, smallest amount of words, fewest amount of words, just as Hemingway was learning to do when he was apprenticed to his own craft. And you're encountering, it's like echoes of American history. It's the farmer who must become the soldier to protect his land, so that this country may become a country. He hears another bird sing at the end of this page, and it transports him to the slave. The slave who waits all night for a chance to escape into the unknown. And the slave becomes the master of a whole new way to see, and he can break all manner of chains because of what he has become. And the birds cry for those he's left behind, and that song transports him to a desolated battle scene. And we find the general. He's fallen from his horse. It's a ruin. His face is cracked and marred by sweat and blood. And he remembers what has just happened. The battlefield is you no longer know who's friend or foe in this light where the colors merge. But he finds his sons come to him, a son in gray and a son in blue. And they try to save the dying father as they escape into the woods. But he dies there, and they burn his body in the woods. And then the gardener returns back to his woods from seeing these visions. And it's almost like he has a seed from these times that he gives to his garden. So we follow through more of these dream sequences of the stranger and the native and their love story, and a burning in the western woods far in the horizon. And then he learns something else from his own dream. That very beast he found in the sea has now climbed ashore with legs, and is searching for the gardener. He sees him in a dream in a great grassland field, and the beast has red eyes and a low growl, and they're just looking at each other face to face, and all of a sudden the beast splits into a million crows and covers the night sky of stars with the beating of these wings. So that presages the coming of other birds, the crows coming to beat out all the songs of the birds here. And so this passage is rising to a climax of the beast is coming. I have to find where he is. He's so far off in the woods that he doesn't know where his garden is, so he's trying as he can to get back to his garden. The crows are coming, they're after him, so he's running from these crows that are biting and pecking him. He's trying to get out of them. Yeah, exactly. So then the crows have their own kind of song of like a sinking, a falling, a nightmare, of never escaping, of being swallowed up. And then finally, right before he gets to his garden, the beast is there, and the beast has his own cry, and he falls into the sound of that cry. But out of that nightmare, he has a vision of a tree greater than any he's ever seen, like the world tree sweeping into the stars, deep into the molten core of the earth it digs. And he has this vision, and he holds on to it, and he feels it.